We developed a thing we call the service delivery model, and the primary part of that has been the introduction of a concept called triage. So what we do at the end of each day is we look at a smaller suite of claims that have come through, which have some characteristics that one might argue which may go longer term. And specialist people, triage managers, make phone calls to those people and have quality conversations with them. Now, apparently there's two highly predictive questions that they ask. The first is, when do you think you'll get back to work? The second is, when does your employer think you'll get back to work? And those two, the answers to those two are highly predictive in terms of how long that claim might go on for. But what it does is it allows us to make a decision about escalating that claim to more active case management, or to just keeping it on that, it's going to be low complexity and it will manage itself in the way that it needs to. That's been significant. The second key thing we've done is introduce specialist teams. So one I was responsible for introducing was a group managing the long-term claims, and we've called that the Recover Independence Service. Now, what ACC had previously done was each case manager had a generic portfolio, so they had a new claim that had come in today versus a claim that had been there for 10, 20, 30 years, and a seriously injured client. Now, there are different skill sets in terms of managing those claims. So we've moved back to its specialisation. We've seen significant changes in terms of the focus on particularly long-term clients. And the last thing we've done, and it's a challenge I guess that's been put to us and that the stocktaker is certainly exploring, is to say, are we best placed to do this anyway? And we've been exploring opportunities to work alongside others, including David, who's going to speak next, and some of the third-party administrators and others in New Zealand, saying that maybe people could do this better than us, and we need to be open to challenging ourselves about how we deliver services. In terms of health purchasing, we've looked at moving towards more limited vendor models and focusing on outcome purchasing. So rather than vocational rehab, which is that you do a CV and you get some training in that, it's that you got a job. And one of the key initiatives we've done is this thing we've called Better at Work, and you will have heard and you will know about the evidence that suggests that people are recover better at work, whether it's from illness or injury. And there's lots of international evidence on that. And what we did, and we've done a pilot in Taupō with the PHO there, which is where they take responsibility for having a return to work coordinator in their workforce, who then liaises with the client, the employer and the GP in terms of seeing if we can facilitate some form of return to work or keeping that person at work. And that's having great results. The incentive that is in there for the PHO, it provides a percentage in terms of the savings that are made in terms of the days off. But what that money does is it's returned to the business for staff development as opposed to going into buying a new yacht or whatever it might be that doctors might do. So it has been a significant change in the model of how we've delivered services and how we've engaged with others to do it. But I guess it's key to us is that one of the issues for ACC is that the gatekeeper is not ACC, it's the GP. When you're injured, you can go into any GP in New Zealand or any physio, whoever it happens to be, and they can, a smaller number of them, can write you off as certified unfit for work. So that gateway and trying to change the behaviour of GPs and understanding the role that they have in the sustainability of the scheme has been quite fundamental to New Zealand, to ACC. So those are some of the key things that we've been working on, and again it is about trying to broaden the sense of accountability for the scheme for New Zealand and preserving the scheme for New Zealand and aligning the incentives of the players, the clients, the employers and the medical treatment providers as well as ACC to do that. Thank you.